The number one reason that diets fail is due to restriction. You try to cut out carbs, you cut out fats, you cut out all of the sugars from your diet. Sure, you might lose some weight at the start, and that's because you're eating less calories. But you can't live like that forever. And eventually, things start to change. The cravings hit again, you start binge eating, you fall off the wagon, and then the cycle just keeps repeating itself over and over again. And it's not due to a lack of discipline, it's just human psychology. No one can live like that forever. You can't avoid pizza, you can't avoid cookies or going out with friends for the rest of your life. And that is the trap that so many diets actually set us up for. I've been there myself. When I first started to lose weight, I honestly had no idea what I was doing. I just tried to basically not eat. I was eating as little as possible, cutting out all carbohydrates, and honestly, my scale weight did go down. But it was not sustainable long term, and it didn't teach me anything about good nutrition. Over time, I thought I had to eat just chicken, rice, broccoli, anything that was labeled clean and healthy. And honestly, for a long time, I was really just confused. I didn't really understand what was healthy and what was not. And again, I didn't know what I was allowed to eat. So I would follow my meal plan and I would never deter from it because I just didn't know what I was allowed. And it was all very, very confusing. The turning point for me was when I started to learn about calories and macros, and not just learn it, but finally understand it. Understand that to lose body fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit. And that is the main driver of your progress. Alongside that, having enough protein so that you can maintain your muscle mass whilst you are dieting. That was really the moment that everything changed and things started to have a little bit more structure, and I really felt like I understood, like I knew what I was doing. So what actually works long term? Well, it comes down to three simple things. The first one is calories. Like I said earlier, calories are the main driver of your progress. When it comes to fat loss, you need to be in a calorie deficit. So we need to make sure that on average, across our week, we are maintaining that calorie deficit. Now, that means eating less than our body is burning throughout the week. So the best way you can do this is by tracking your food intake and making sure that you are keeping those calories in that deficit. Now, everyone's going to have a different number, which is very specific to them. But once you find that, you need to focus on sticking to it. And that is going to be the number one thing that you need to do during your dieting phase. The second one is going to be protein. Now, we want to get in the protein to maintain our muscle mass. We want to hold onto muscle as much as we possibly can when we are dieting. Even if you are on the heavier side of things and you're an overweight individual, getting that protein in your case, may help you build muscle as you are losing fat. So you always want to make sure you're getting in that protein. If we don't get in that protein, then we're going to be burning muscle mass whilst we are also dropping fat, which we don't want, because keeping that muscle high means we're keeping that metabolism higher, and it means we can eat more while still losing fat and also look better for it because we're going to have more muscle. Number three, and this one is probably the most important for long-term progress, is flexibility. Making sure that you keep your diet flexible. The more rigid you make things, the more clean and healthy, and making sure that every single thing you eat is, complete whole foods or anything like that, you're actually going to make it harder for yourself. You need the flexibility. You need to have a little bit of balance. I like to do like an 80-20 approach. The majority of my day, 80% of it is going to be from whole foods, clean sources, high fiber. And then when I've got calories left over, once I've kind of ticked those boxes, that is when I'll fit in some more junk food, you could call it, or the more fun foods, flexible foods. And that is what actually helps keep me consistent long term, because I'm not restricting myself every day like I would be if I was cutting all of these things out. And that makes a huge difference in how successful you are on your diet. This is how I live my life now. I'm in Bali. I've been here for a few months. I travel full time and I'm actually eating out 3 times per day right now. I could not really do that if I was following the old meal plan or cutting out carbs. It wouldn't be possible, right? I can have the flexibility to eat something different 3 times a day every single day because of this approach. I track my food, I make it fit those targets, and I have the flexibility to eat what I want. So if you're tired of starting a diet and then failing, stop looking for something that is so restrictive and start looking for something that is flexible and that can actually work with your life. You want it to be something that you could do for years because that is what long-term progress is all about. Remember, diets fail because they are too restrictive. So if you take away an element of that restriction because you already have enough just being in a calorie deficit, then make sure that your diet is flexible. Build structure in the way you eat your meals, but again, keep the flexibility there so you have the ability to change things. That is what will keep you consistent long term. If you want some help setting this up for yourself, I've actually put together a free calorie and macro calculator, which I'll leave in the description below. Just hit the link and you can access that yourself. It will show you what calories and macros you need to actually start making progress on your diet, and then you can fit in the foods you love within those numbers. If you found this helpful, make sure you hit subscribe and drop a comment and a like, as I've got plenty more vids to come to show you how you can stay in shape, drop the fat, whilst keeping things flexible. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.